is EliteSportsBetting.com. I'm your host, Claudia Bellofatto, here with CEO of EliteSportsBetting.com and professional gambler for the last 15 years, Rob Brink. We're going to break down how to bet some of the most popular sports, starting with MLB, Rob.
MLB season is upon us, Claudia, as we record this show. So let's break down. There's I think 3 or 4 MLB bets that we'll cover here. The most important thing to know about baseball is it's one of the most popular sports for professional bettors. It is the sport that I've cut my teeth on and bet more than any other sport. So in a given baseball season, I will bet about 1,500 baseball games, which means you're doing it every single day. So one of the reasons it's so popular is baseball is a dime line sport. So, sorry, it's a nickel line sport. So the VIG is 10 cents. And the reason the bookmakers make the VIG smaller on MLB is because of volume of games and less interest in the sport. They can charge 35 cents on an NFL game and people pay it with a smile. To get people to have action in baseball, they realized a long time ago they need to have a nickel line, so reduced juice, and they make their money back on volumes. So that is one of the more appealing things about baseball is it's cheaper to play. The other thing that's really appealing about baseball betting is its sheer volume. So if you have a bad day, tomorrow is right around the corner and you have 13 more games to go bet on. So that takes some real willpower and know-how to do that every single day, but you can recover much faster than NFL, which is only essentially Sunday, Monday, Thursday. So that's one thing that's really sexy about MLB betting. Not that there's too much sexy about MLB betting because most people don't like baseball, but
crazy.
Yeah, crazy, right? Baseball is also a money line sport. So like NBA, you're betting a point spread. NFL, you're betting a point spread. In baseball, you always bet the money line. Okay. You do that because of the reduced juice and because it is just always the better bet to bet the money line in baseball. In baseball, when you bet a money line that you're aligned with the players. A basketball player doesn't care if they win by 1 point or 7 points. In baseball, the baseball player doesn't care if they win by 1 or 1.5 runs. They just want to win the game. So when you bet a money line in baseball, you're paying less money for it, and you're also fully aligned with the players. So money line bet always in baseball. You can bet a run line, which is generally -1.5. A lot of people will bet a -1.5 run line on high juiced games. So if a game is, let's say, -300, it's very popular to say, oh, this is -300. They're going to win by 1,000,000. Let me bet the -1.5. Simply not true. You are giving away all of your value betting the spread in baseball. So don't do that. The other kinds of bets in baseball are over-unders. Again, over-under, say 7.5, 8.5. You're betting whether they're going to go over that total, under that total. You could bet team totals, and you could bet first 5 in baseball, which is essentially a first half bet in basketball, first 5 innings. And the reason people do like the bet first 5s is because that way you generally are betting only on the starter and not factoring in the bullpen into your bet. I personally don't bet first 5s, but that's the rationale for doing it.
Okay, so money line kind of the safest play with baseball. You mentioned basketball. What about NBA?
So NBA, my recommendation for NBA is bet the spread. So with the spread bet, you're paying much less juice. So, the VIG on an NBA game is generally around 20, 25 cents. So it's much higher than baseball because it's more popular to bet on. So they can charge you more money for your bets. But you want to bet the spreads in NBA and pay less juice on that. I personally am a totals better in NBA. So I bet over unders. And I do that for full game, but you certainly could bet first half over under, team total over under. One of the more popular bets with NBA these days seems to be props, which I'm really into betting props as well. I think it's fun for people that are just getting into it. But NBA props are very popular as well.
All right. And you mentioned NFL earlier. What's your approach when betting NFL?
So a couple things with NFL. I almost exclusively bet teasers in NFL, which is where you combine two teams and bring them down, say 6 points in the spread. So those are very popular NFL bets. The NFL, though, is a pure spread sport as well. You do not want to be in a situation where you're betting money lines in NFL in general, because again, you're just paying a really high vig. So they can charge up to 35 cents in the NFL, depending. So you're paying a lot more for your bet just because it's so much more popular. But you could bet over unders as well. First half over unders in NFL. There's so many variances. There's so many secondary markets around NFL just because it's so huge and the volume is so, there's just so much liquidity in the market. So you can bet first half, second half over unders, just a variety of bets in the NFL. But largely, I recommend either 6 point teasers, two teams. Don't do 3-team teasers, and then just straight spread betting. One word of caution for the NFL, Claudia, because I think it's very common for people to put their NFL bets down on Sunday. You will lose betting NFL on Sunday no matter what system you put in place, because that line has had 7 days to shape and form, which means all of the people that are smarter than you, the smarter money, got down on Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, and then they're sort of out of the market unless there's news on Sunday. So you are firing into what is the sharpest number in the world, really.
Great tip for beginners. Our last major sport, we'll go over NHL.
So NHL is also a money line sport. It is also a lower vig sport. It is also a sport I don't bet a lot. I know two professional NFL bettors that are incredible at it. What they have in common is they will bet money lines and they will bet totals. They will not bet the puck line. So the puck line is very similar. It's almost identical, really, to the run line in baseball, where it's -1.5, -1.5 on a spread. But you don't want to be in a position where you're betting spreads in NHL. You want to bet the money line. You want to bet the totals, but it's not a bad place to go.
All right, guys, that's it. If you have any more questions or want the latest advice and tips on daily betting for all sports, follow us on Twitter @EliteWins or head to EliteSportsBetting.com. Thanks for watching.